Welcome back. This is the unpopular opinion becoming popular. My name is Yana the Heretic, and this week we are discussing Gate 14 in the I Ching hexagram. And Gate 14 is the gate of power skills or possessions in great measure. And it is going to be filtering November 16th through the 21st. Very important to check this video out because it can help clear up, what's the main focus of the week, and, if it's already not happening naturally for you. It's one of my favorite gates because it is the pure sacral energy. It is found in the very center of the sacral, and it is reaching up towards the identity center, and it is like all this fuel bubbling up at the surface, like the very individual ambition that you carry as a human being, and how it empowers your identity, how it really latches on to who you are as a person, and the gifts that you bring into this world that no one else has. So Gate 14 is really the driver of the entire Sphinx. So if you are not aware of what the Sphinx is, it is the skeleton of the rave mandala. It is something that has, its arms and legs and structure formatted as the very skeleton of the design mandala. And if you think of how much power it would be to drive a Sphinx, like the one that's in Egypt, it's going to take a lot of fire, a lot of fuel. So it is generally why you are the one that gets respected as a person. Gate 14s are very much those people that want to build a solid foundation, of certifications, or, having either possessions of skills, a skill set that nobody else has, an invention that somebody created that nobody else had. And it can also be like objects or material things, which kind of leads into the not self version of this gate, which can be very toxic because a lot of the time people who have greater possessions, they have this burden that has come from their lineage where, you're the heir to the throne, but your life is kind of already written out for you. You have to show up and be this particular type of person. You really can't always be yourself. There's a schedule that makes you into like a child entrepreneur that builds the legacy up. That's why a lot of these rich families have children in the first place, is so that there's this continual wealth and to pass down certain things, through the lineage. And it can also be like something sacred, like a family heirloom, or like a diamond or a ruby, or, what if your lineage was to protect the Ark of the Covenant or something? You have this role, and it can be a burden on you because yes, you have this stature, but you really don't have the option to live a different life, so that tends to make you feel like, man, I didn't really get to choose what I want to do or work that I personally love. Sometimes these roles are roles that you love because you feel powered by your legacy and you feel an honor from your family to carry this down. But, on the low side of it is just buying like Lamborghinis, or buying like the most expensive painting, or buying out, you know, an entire airport just so you can have like, you know, nobody there when you arrive, or, you know, at that point, like, you know, you have your own jet plane or whatever it is. Like, you're trying to show off your material possessions in order to have that reputation in a magazine somewhere. You know, like, oh, okay, well, you know, we all know these types of billionaires that want to go to Mars or want to have their own space station, and they just want to be the first. And then, you know, it doesn't really matter who they step over in order to get it on top. And they end up ruining the world. So, you know, that's the downside of these types of people. You know, they're driven, but they don't really have the morality to back up their actions, because they have this different, you know, framework of how the world is. Whereas, you know, the great 14s in the world, they have this really particular life where they've been given these secrets, you know, and they are the keeper of keys, or have the potential to be the keeper of keys. That's more so the entire channel. 214, the channel of the beat. Those are the people that have this pulse that goes through their identity, and they're identified with these secrets that they have been given. And, you know, just the 14 itself, it still has this ability to, well, I created this book or this map or this framework. You know, I'm the one that created this patent, or, you know, I have these specific connections that nobody else has. And that's really what's, you know, the landing plane that they're building off of is like, well, I've gotten to know these people at the right time, at the right place. And, you know, this is really helping me out because more people now know what I do for a living. And, you know, maybe they would ask me for my expertise. So this is the Guinness Book of World Records types, you know, where they are very uniquely who they are, and they're really not trying to steal anybody else's thunder either, because, you know, they hold this type of empowerment that they know, hey, like, I'm worth something if I have skills, if I have possessions. Without those things, they don't feel worth anything. They feel worthless. And that's where that fear comes in, you know? So they're trying to always use this pulse to get to the top, you know, and to be recognized for their weird thing, you know, because the Guinness Book of World Records has a lot of weird shit in it, you know, and if you're going back and trying to like one up somebody from the past, it's still like, yeah, you're the new heir of that thing, but you didn't really create it, so it kind of feels drab, or it's been done before and you're just trying to copy somebody and say you could do it better. It's not really the same thing. So these are the Guinness Book of World Records people that truly hone their own thing in history. And it is really honestly my favorite, you know, gate. And the downside is that if we don't have gate 2 pulsing in, the gate 2 is the gate of direction of the self and the receptive. So without that gate, without that harmonic, we are driven, we have the fuel, but we don't know where we're going. So we don't really have necessarily the steering wheel, you know, or the map or anything like that. So we can feel really scattered with our energy. And it's also considered to be the gate of slavery. So you become slave to something you're working towards, but you don't really like know why you're working towards it. So keep that in mind. Like, we also have the whole entire channel of inspiration filtering this week. So that really helps us be creative. It is, the 1-8, which we've just seen gate 1 come through, which is the artist, and 8 is the one that promotes the artist. So, we're really showing ourselves from this place now, this individual start to our quarter of mutation. And I actually like the fact that the yin gate, the only yin gate we have, which has the break in it, it is kind of like a car with like a little driver's seat, so you're sitting in the car and you're like waiting for the key, waiting for the direction. So not only that, but we also do have the channel of inspiration online, or sorry, the channel of power and the channel of inspiration. And that is a splenic channel, and the channel of power on top of the power of skills, on top of the power of inspiration. We just have a lot of creativity, and we're trying to show our fire, because that's the way that these people really get where they want to go, is by really trailblazing along the forge, that was created for them, or, making sure that your flames are lit in the network, so that people can like use this ambition as well, and we could all ride into this, event, or, something that changes society as we know it. And therefore, that's why this entire gate and channel is on the cross of contagion, because words are contagious. So these are the people that are respected and ambitious, so they get heard, like they, even if it's just something that they do, they don't have their throat defined, for example. It's like, a product that they made, this is the framework of something that other people use. So they are going to shift society, and it is going to be contagious out in the world. So, oh, did you hear this about, this person? And holy shit, like they changed, so much for me. So that's generally like how they get recognized as people, because they are the keeper of keys potentially, They have a very specific type of history that they've been told, or shown or taught certain things that other people would have never had the opportunity to know, because they got taught by some like, mentor out in the woods that, just like perished after, their last or maybe only student of their craft. And then they're like, shit, like now I have to like make this my legacy or a part of it. So yeah, so this is a very individual bloom, and just make sure that you don't like turn your kids into the Kardashians of the world, like, because like they don't really become who they're meant to be sometimes. Some people are really grateful for that, but a lot of the time, like people like me, it's just like such a fucking goddamn rebellious nature. Like, I don't know, like, dude, don't put me in your fucking box, dude, So you really want to keep an eye out for, how you can be uniquely you, even if you're given a legacy that, forces you in certain things that feel very much not self. So lots of things to assess here. I pretty much hit as many notes as I could on this gate. I'm going to go into the questions of the week. What are you known for? You know, if just even for yourself, maybe you don't have something that everyone knows, about you. Maybe you should, share these talents. But yeah, what are you known for? Is there something you do unlike anyone else? The landing place that you can really grow authentically from, because it all starts with, well, like I won this contest, in my school, and that's just one thing. Like, how much more can it progress? Because everyone can bake a cake, but no one's gonna make it like you, not by vision or flavor or look. So do you feel like your life was already written off by your family? In what small ways can you take back some of this dignity? What is yours that is always yours? So, when can you find that time for yourself to be you and take as much of that time in as well? If you had a vat of extra energy, what are the main things you would put it toward? Are these things that will create a continual fount of wealth within you? These are all very much Gate 14 questions. If you have any answers you want to share, any insights, anything that you've created, I would love to see it. I love watching people do their thing. It makes me feel really fucking full of joy. Can you believe it? It makes me feel joy. So if you want to share it, if you want to send it, whether it's a music link or art or whatever you're doing, that is very much you. Share it in the chat, please. And I will see you all next week. Enjoy this ambitious strain. Thank you.